First of all, Joe, I'm pretty sure that that's my real hair, too. Pretty sure also that I'm a little less angry than I look in that picture. So I do appreciate the action shot that went away from that picture for a little while. So would like to start off, first of all, to thank the Hall of Honor Committee for the consideration and honor of this award. Thank you to Kelly Loft, Rolly Moeller, Chris Himaleski, Tim Steinbach, Jen Gruben, staff and sponsors for making the tradition and event possible. And so what a great place to be on a Saturday afternoon. I'm humbled and honored to be considered in the same breath as those who are inducted here today and those who came before. As I've connected with teammates over the last month or so, it's been important to me to share with all of them that I consider it a great privilege to play and to be coached by such great individuals. I wouldn't be standing here today without each and every one of you. As I thought about today's message, there's so many stories and things that I'd like to share. This place and this community really helped to forge who I am, and for that I'm very, very thankful. I was recruited by Coach Jefferson Flowers, and although I was a successful high school football player, I was not an all-state player, and played for a small school named Martin County West, just down the road from Truman, and Tremont is actually my hometown. I was blessed to grow up on a farm with a family that was grounded, that is loving, supportive, and hardworking. I knew that I wanted to play college football someday, but Martin County West was not necessarily the recruiting hub of the world. And my talents didn't necessarily stand out on a statewide stage. Following my senior year, I put together a VHS highlight tape accompanied by statistics, stuffed them in manila envelopes, and sent them away to university and colleges. Shortly after, I met Coach Jeffers and Coach Flowers and eventually committed to SMSU. As I reflect on my college experience, I'm certain that God surrounded me with the coaches and teammates to help me to develop and to grow. As a small town, scrawny kid from Tremont, Minnesota, I was pretty unsure of my abilities as I came here. Enter Melvin Sanders. My very first moment on a practice field right out here at Southwest included Coach Sanders chasing me 80 yards in my ear because I hadn't properly pursued in a skelly drill, and with quite a few expletives. He's also the coach who saw in me something that I had not seen in myself. As my linebacker coach, he pushed me, was hard on me, demanded, "Do it again!" until it was to his standards. He believed in me, and I wanted nothing more than to prove him right. This lesson is a foundational element to who I am today. It's deeply rooted and fuels the belief that all kids can achieve. As a current educator and as a coach, it's imperative for us all to believe in students and in children, sometimes more than they believe in themselves. Not the only fundamental lesson learned here at Southwest Minnesota State. It was an important time in my life. I learned about loyalty and commitment, learned about toughness and grinding and work ethic, friendship, brotherhood, and family. As I look at the list, one of my biggest dreams for my own children is to one day have such an experience. Each of these traits have many stories linked to them, but there are a few of them that stood out and I thought worth sharing. For example, before grinding and grit were popular athletic jargon, we were working hard to learn what those words meant. In fact, I'm pretty sure the SSU football team of 1997 is responsible for today's NCAA sanctions about how many minutes you can contact your student athletes. Whether it was grinding through 3-a-days, in the August heat, 2-hour-long film sessions that weren't always that pleasant, or winter conditioning sessions that seemed to begin earlier than most of our college students we're going to bed, we definitely learned how to grind. I can't tell you how many times I met Aaron Sinclair, Brian Kokas, Russ Barkley at the entrance of the tunnels from the dorms, in snow up to our knees usually, blowing of course, in the dark of the morning, looking forward to pool stairs, mat room, killers, continuous running, and eventually vomiting. I was one of those guys. I definitely learned how to grind. And minus the vomiting, I feel that it's one of the most important lessons that I've learned here. Grinding went hand in hand with toughness. Jacob, you talked about toughness and work ethic and all those things, and I almost came up here and said what Jacob said. Now I'm done. We're good. I believe that toughness can be learned. Although I don't have great stories for this, I know that the mention of tough period and 300 shuttles will make some of the teammates in this room squirm. I believe that both of these times are designed by our coaches to put us through adverse situations on the football field together. It certainly helped to galvanize our brotherhood. Going through these times made us rely on each other and bonded us in so many different ways. Our friendships are definitely among the most important part of my time at SMSU. As Jake stated in last year's speech, and by the way, I think I know Jason Jacobs' speech and Andrea Swatsky's speech better than I know mine now because of YouTube and being able to watch it ahead of time. So thank you for that. But as he mentioned last year, it's a little bit cliche, but the relationships that were built through football are what I consider the most valued part of my time here. These are the types of friends who would drive or fly all night to help a teammate in need, who stop their busy lives to share a moment together and reconnect, who continue to sacrifice for each other. For this, I'm most thankful. It speaks to the lesson of loyalty, family, and commitment. Although we go long periods of time without seeing each other at times, when we connect, it's like we never left. I'd like to take a moment to honor and remember teammate Marcus Boniface, also known as Bear, or Bonnie, who passed away in a car accident way too soon. Bonnie was the big guy that turned heads when walking in the room. As gentle and kind of a person that you would ever meet, and a beast on the offensive line, I know that he's still missed by us all. Coach Flowers fostered these relationships through coaching, motivation, modeling. Ron liked to use analogies and stories, especially the night before the game, to get our attention, keep us focused on task at hand. And one that sticks out is he talked about two fishermen who went fishing, and one that was really kind of in charge, and he went out on a lake and brought his friend with him and found the spot, and they set up, and it was kind of in the evening, and they sat down and they started fishing, and it was kind of slow to begin with. And one of them, friend number one, started to catch a fish here, catch a fish there, catch another fish here, catch another fish there. And it picked up, and it picked up, while his friend next to him wasn't catching anything. Finally, the friend turned and asked, and he changed baits to match it up and make sure he was doing the same thing. They were this far apart, hole to hole. And again, he kept catching fish after fish after fish. And finally, friend two got so frustrated, turned to him and said, "What are you doing differently than me? I have the exact same thing on. I'm matching everything. I'm doing everything." And the friend number one kind of mumbled to him. Wasn't sure what he said. He said, "What? I can't understand you." I can't understand you. Finally, he spit it out. "You have to keep the bait warm." Point is, he challenged us, what are you willing to do to be successful tomorrow during our game? What are you willing to do to be excellent? What are you willing to do to give your personal best throughout that time? He used to say, how committed are you to being the best you can be? What are you willing to do to be the best? To this day, every dorm, apartment, or house that I've ever known has a little tiny sign in it in one of the corners of a mirror that has BTB on it. And it's reminding me to be the best in every day, everything that we try to do. As you can see, the lessons that were forged in this place really have shaped me. As I know, they have my teammates. This is also the place where I met my wife, Gina, during fall camp. She was a Sabaro on the Mustang volleyball team and continues to be my biggest supporter, best friend. I told her I wouldn't because I thought I might crack up. I love you. Again, I feel extremely blessed, thankful, and humbled for my experiences here. I'd like to finish by thanking my coaches, in particular Coach Flowers, Coach Jeffers, Coach Sanders, Coach Hine, and Coach Lucier, for your influence, guidance, and belief in us. Thank you to my teammates for your camaraderie, loyalty, friendship. Thank you to Patty and Laura, who are always in our corner and fighting for us and with us. The competitive spirit and personal investment that they have to Mustang Athletics' success is second to none. I'd like to thank my parents who taught me all of the aforementioned qualities and traits before I really understood what they meant, and for supporting me along the way. I believe that my parents only missed one football game from 7th grade all the way through my college career. And to my brother and sister who toted along so many days in the minivan, sometimes 8 to 10 hours away, and always came along with a smile on their face. Or at least that's what I saw when they were done. Finally, I'd like to thank Gina and our children, Mason, Bella, and Tylee, for your continued support and sacrifices that you make to allow me to do what I currently do. In summary, there are 2 quotes that hang in my office that I reference regularly with students that I work with and are accredited to my experiences gained at SMSU. They read, "Hard work beats talent every time until talent learns to work hard. And we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit." My time at SMSU certainly taught me to work hard and continuously strive for excellence. Thank you, and go Mustangs.